Well, welcome back, everyone. You know, the holidays can be a joyous occasion, but that may not be the case for everyone. And here to help us and dive into that topic is Erin Moran-Wiley. She's the owner and CEO of the Willow Center right here in Ohio. So welcome, Erin.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk about this. You know, for many people, the holidays can be wonderful. Thanksgiving's coming up. People are looking forward to it, but that may not be the case for everybody.
That's true. I like to remind my clients that grief comes in a lot of different forms. Grief just means that we are losing or lost something. So traditionally, I think we think of grief as losing a person, but also losing a job can be really difficult. I think for a lot of people, the results of the election were really difficult and feel like a loss. And I think we just have to honor any loss that anyone is feeling, whether it's people or not. It can also be your own health if you're struggling with your health. I think when we need to slow down and honor what we need. And also, ideally, hopefully, at this time that's very much focused around families, we're sensitive to people who are struggling and are losing something like even a marriage.
You are right that losing could really be anything, you know, and you said even like a job, and we all know that the holidays can be expensive as well, you know, so that's something the pressure on holidays to be happy and joyous and just like be a festive party, but that's not always the case.
For sure. I think that as Americans, we have that kind of push through mentality and suck it up. And I think that really hurts people. If we're having big emotions and what we choose to do or feel pressure to do is push them down and hold them, kind of like I say, it's like a beach ball underwater. You can only keep that down for so long, and it's not healthy and can make you physically sick. So if you are struggling, I think ways to honor your own emotional pain, first of all, is let yourself feel it and stop running from it with maybe, buying lots of gifts for Christmas or baking constantly. Like, those things are fun and great, but if we're leaning into that or maybe Hallmark Channel movies and just basically dissociating or pretending like we're not struggling, it's really unhealthy. So giving ourselves the space to process, whether that's with a therapist, online or in person, whether you're journaling or sharing it with a friend or family member, I really think that as we are moving through this time where everyone does have expectations of being constantly joyful, it's a really courageous and healthy thing to do, to let yourself have even periods of time where you allow yourself to feel the sad that's inside you instead of running away from it all the time.
Yeah. So what if let's say you're a family member and you know another family member is coming to, let's say, a holiday get together, and you know that member is not really on top of their game, or they're not feeling the best. How do you approach them during the holidays when everybody else is so joyous, but you want to be sensitive to their feelings? How do you go about that?
That's a great question. A lot of people will say when it comes to grief, because people don't enjoy feeling it, that if you are struggling, people who are struggling report that people around them try to ignore it or avoid them because it's so uncomfortable. And almost anyone who's gone through a major loss will say, that's the worst thing you can do. So I think, proceeding gently and kindly and just asking people how they're doing, maybe even before the event, reaching out and saying, we don't want to presume and say, I know this is going to be really hard for you, because maybe they're in a better place than you know. You don't know. So asking questions, I think, is important. Saying, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do to support you? I'd presume this might be difficult, but maybe I'm wrong. How are you right now? How can I help make this event better for you if that's something I possibly can do? A lot of times people who've lost a significant other in the year or immediate years before find it really meaningful, instead of people making platitudes and saying things that are cliche like, I'm sure they're here in spirit, or, I'm just glad they're done suffering, which can feel dismissive. Instead, just say things like, I really miss them. I bet you really miss them. Or how are you doing right now, transitioning to this new time of your life without them? or telling stories. That's really meaningful to say, wasn't it so funny every year when she would XYZ or he would ABC? Because it's a way of keeping someone's memory alive. And for the person who's grieving, that's super significant and a beautiful way to remember someone.
For those of you that are out there watching, if you need advice, you can always contact Erin and her facility at the Willow Center. Her number's on the screen right now, and as well as the website. Thank you, Erin, so much for coming on again.
You're welcome.
All right, well, don't go away because we have more when we return.